everyone, I hope you're well. I'm doing a series of videos about the assignments in JSB172 for you. This is the same information that's available on the Blackboard site, but I thought I'd give you that same information in a different form. So the first assignment is the self-assessment, which is due in week 3, quite early in semester. It's due on Friday the 13th, and I'm hoping technology doesn't fail me on that date. Friday the 13th of March particularly, and it's due at midnight. Now all the assignments in JSB172 are electronically uploaded and submitted only. There's no assignment minder for assignments in this unit, and that's only for this unit, okay? So what you need to do is you need to go to the Blackboard site, click on Assessment, click on the Self-Assessment folder, and when it comes time to uploading, there's a little assignment upload area for you. Now, this particular assignment is 750 words, but it's weighted quite high at 40%, which is the same as the literature review. But the reason for this is because there's quite a lot of work involved, particularly in the career program that you've got to do. So we're trying to get you to think about your job in criminal justice for this, right? One of the places where we've got some info about this is on the Justice Students Community Blackboard site. We've got a whole bunch of audio recordings and video recordings of interviews with people talking about their jobs in criminal and social justice. You can watch those, have a think about the type of job you'd like to do when you finish your degree. And then I would recommend doing a bit of research, Googling, having a look at, Seek, careers, the government job site, all of those things, and seeing what types of jobs are out there. You can also find information about, police organisations, for instance, often just have selection criteria just on a website. So those types of things are really important. There are lots and lots of jobs out there, and you can look at jobs anywhere in the world. So go broad. I've also got these careers booklets that we do in Justice, which I'll be hopefully bringing along to the first week of lectures at some point, depending on whether or not they're actually printed in time. But you will be able to access one at some point during the semester. The first part of this assignment, other than researching, your dream job and making a decision about that, is doing the QUT Career Development Program. This is a Blackboard site. You go to the Blackboard site, the link is on our Blackboard site for you under self-assessment. And when you've finished all the different modules, then you'll get a certificate of completion. Now this is very important that you keep this because it needs to be part of your assignment. Okay, but my advice with this though, this particular program, if there's anything you need to do in the first week of lectures, it's this program, all right? It takes some time sometimes. That was ridiculous. It takes a while sometimes to get the certificate at the end, so a couple of weeks even. So please make sure you do it in good time. Don't leave it till the last minute. That certificate, you then take a screenshot or a print screen of that certificate, and you have to put it into your assignment so we know you finished the program. It's pretty straightforward. So after you've thought about what your dream job is, you've finished your career development program, you've had a bit of a Google, then you need to find an employment advertisement to actually find something that you can address. Employment ads are everywhere. Those places I talked to you about before, they're perfectly fine, good places. Seek, Career One, that type of thing, to go and find these types of jobs. They need to have what we would call substantive selection criteria. Police jobs sometimes have need a driver's license, need to do a beat test, need to be an Australian citizen, for instance. These are not what we call substantive because if you've got a license, it's only possible for you to say, I have a Queensland driver's license. You can't write in a whole paragraph about it. Communication skills, teamwork, getting a knowledge of a particular area such as maritime law or fisheries or something like that. There's substantive criteria that you can write about for this assignment, all right? You need three substantive criteria to address in your assignment. and you need to write in no more than 250 words per criteria. You can tell us about the skills that you already have. You know, you might have been working at Macca's, for instance. You need some pretty good teamwork skills to work in Macca's, so sure, talk about that. But what else are you going to do? There's things like volunteer work, university volunteer work, paid workplace experiences, even the assignments and activities that you do in class are things that you could talk about. So these are the types of things that you need to tell us about in terms of a plan to get the skills that you need. So you need to, you know, talk a bit about what you've already got, but talk about the plan that you're putting into place in terms of how you're going to get the skills you need. That's what we need to see. All right, so you do that in 250 words. You project the types of experiences you need and then tell us about your plan to get them. Make sure you include screenshots not only of your module, your program certificate thing that I was talking about before, but also of your job ad. Job ads are very fleeting. They can be there 1 minute and gone the next when the job closes. So please print them as PDF, save them as a web page. Take screenshots of it. Do something to make sure that you've got a record of that job being available, all right? Because they can just disappear sometimes in hours when the job does close off. You need to put screenshots of that into your Word document along with your career program certificate screenshot, and of course copying and pasting your criteria sheet into the end of the whole document itself. Okay, as I said before, it's submitted electronically only. I'll give you some feedback about what other students did in the past which perhaps wasn't the best, and it'll hopefully help you to stay on the right track. So some people didn't mention what their job was and didn't actually list the selection criteria, so they just wrote their paragraphs in the page giving us no information about what the job was. You'll fail if you do that, because we don't know if you've just made the job up. Some people talked about or described the criteria in heaps of detail in 250 words. You don't want to do this. It's about telling us what skills you have and what skills you need to get and how you're going to get them. All right, that's really important. Some people chose jobs that weren't criminal or social justice focused. Brain surgeons are not criminal or social justice focused. Please try and get a job which is focused in those areas just for this particular task at the very least. Some people didn't write much at all. 2 sentences is not a paragraph. You need a full selection criteria paragraph for this assessment task. 1 paragraph for each of your selection criteria. If you're under the word limit, it's going to be really hard to pass. Some people talked about one part of our criteria when there were actually multiple parts. This can be a bit difficult. Sometimes it might be better just to pick one part of the criteria, but I'll leave that up to you. And if you've got questions or concerns about that, see your tutor, email me. Some people included introductions and conclusions. These are clearly not part of this task. You need introductions and conclusions for essays, not for this task. Some people also included contents pages. Unless I ask you to include a contents page, you don't put a contents page in this assignment or in any other assignments in this unit. Some people used really informal language. You need to remember that you're addressing selection criteria. You're pretending that you are applying for a job, more or less. So you don't want to use informal language when you're trying to apply for a really great job. You need to keep that high level of academic language being used in your application, in your responses for this. Some people use no critical reflection at all, which means they didn't tell us about what skills they needed and how they were going to develop them. Some people talked about skills that weren't relevant at all to the job. So you might be working in a landscaping business. I create garden beds. I make sure the back of the truck is clean. That doesn't really develop teamwork in any way, shape or form, or demonstrate communication skills, you might work in a team for that landscaping business. You can tell us about that for sure, but make sure that what you're talking about is actually relevant to the criteria. Some people have reference lists. You need no references for this assignment. No references. Therefore, no reference list. Very simple. Some people had very, very short paragraphs. Sentence, 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 sentence. That's not a paragraph. That's a series of dot points. Make sure that you use your full paragraph structure that you learn about in the first week in JSB172. I will show you an example that I've put together when we do the lecture and the online chat, and we can also talk about additional feedback and so forth. But I think that's it for now. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a good day.